There's no texting, there's no cell phones, it doesn't exist, right? This is all set up way in advance. And there were phone trees that were how we communicated plans, and you had a list of, 10 to 15 people on your landline that you were calling to make sure people had information, and all the wheat pasting that was done. This was one of the biggest cross-coalition ACT UP and Housing Works, and I mean, there was a long list. The Lesbian Avengers were allies here that were protesting some of the policies that Giuliani was proposing, and this was a shutdown of, I think it was 5 or 6 tunnels and bridges simultaneously that happened. And this is at the Midtown tunnel, and it paralyzed the city for a few hours. So people are lying down here blocking what was probably 1,000 cars lined up to go out the Midtown tunnel. So the anxiety for me certainly was about people's safety on all sides first. And then this was one of those days that I remember very clearly where the universe sort of aligns, where you get both the intensity of the moment, you also, all the composition gods, your exposures, like all of those things come together. It's funny because I look at this image often and think, the police were holding, you don't really see them in this picture, but the police were really holding that other side, which is so empty. And although it shows that there's no traffic, I'd always wish that I could have gotten, behind you was this, all these cars, right? So it really showed that the protesters in terms of the framing, but I couldn't get to the other side. So I've thought about that with this image a lot. I had gotten arrested many times as an activist, but also as a press person. So you have to make those decisions whether or not you're willing to do that day. I know this image and the other one that it's more of a crisscross of an image, have been used all over the place, and fronts of books for, what civil disobedience and direct action looks like. And, that to me is very satisfying.